Welcome friends. Today we are doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 29th of October 2023. Wet. That's right friends, this week it has been wet. Wet and getting progressively colder. The weather has been foul, it has been dark, and last night the clocks went back, so it's going to be getting darker much earlier. So that's something to look forward to if you're into that kind of thing. I have picked some different kinds of fragrances this week. No ambers by the look of it. No ambers at all. Well, maybe one of them could be considered an amber. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. See how you feel about it when it pops up. But friends, as usual, we will start at the beginning. And at the beginning of the week, on Monday, I decided to wear something a little bit vintage. Considerably vintage. I've said a little bit vintage. There's nothing a little bit vintage about it. It's considerably vintage. And that is my fucking pressurized bottle of Revlon Homme. I haven't worn this before. I've smelled it a few times, but I haven't worn it before. This is the haute concentration, which means it's thick. It is a green pine, oak moss, cedar, carnation, rosemary fragrance. It's very vintage. It's very my style. It's like the kind of thing I really like. Bought it off my friend from France, David. So thank you, David. It's fantastic, actually. I really enjoyed it. It's warm, it's extremely masculine. Is it dark? It's a little bit smoky from the oak moss, because you get smoke moss, a term I have coined. Good grief. I'll put my teeth in, shall I? Excuse me whilst I hydrate, hopefully that'll help. And I think I'm going to wear it again. It's pressurized though. I always worry that it's going to run out of pressurization and you're going to need to like spray you're going to need like to take apart the bottle for like the last 15 mil or something like that. So, and the pressurized, I mean, to be fair, for a pressurized bottle, it's held up rather well considering it's got to be what? It's got to be about at least 30 years old. So, that is the first perfume I wore and enjoyed greatly on Monday. Haven't been wearing a lot of my vintage perfumes or my leathers. So I may have to change that as the weather gets colder though. Anyway, Tuesday I wore the perfume that I think could be considered an amber. And this is Bois de Turquie. Bois de Turquie by Maître Parfumier Elegante. This is sensational. This is one of my favourite discoveries of the year. It is mandarin, iris, myrrh, sandalwood, incense, laurels. I think there's like a bay leaf, certain kind of bay leaf in here. It's got a little bit boozy, a little bit sweet, like rum kind of booze. But it's like M7, but without the oud and with orris, so that swap out the oud for the orris, and that's what this is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm really loving it. So I recommend it to you. Not sure what the modern formulation is like, but if it's anything like this, and I know they do take care of their fragrances, so if it's anything like this, it'll be better than almost all designer perfumes that are out on the market at the minute. Wednesday, speaking of designer perfumes, this is Egoiste Cologne Concentrate. This is Egoiste, but more. If you like Egoiste, you should get a bottle of this, or try and find a bottle of it. It's not easy to find, and when you do find them, they're extremely expensive. I fortunately have a connection, my friend in Japan, who gets me these at basically what Egoiste goes for at retail now. This is long discontinued. One of the only Chanel's I can think of that's been discontinued. There aren't many, you know. They're not like other houses like YSL and Dior and stuff like that who discontinue their fragrances often. I mean, to be fair, houses like YSL and Dior should discontinue more of their fragrances because most of them have been crap recently. But like I say, this is just Egoiste, but more. It's denser, thicker, richer. Maybe it sits a little bit closer to the skin, but it's a lot heavier. It's a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit more woody. It's gorgeous. Try it if you can find it. Amazing. Thursday, I continued the woody trend of Chanel Cologne Concentrate and wore this. Serge Lutens Santal Majuscule. Straight up one of the best sandalwood fragrances you will ever smell. It's so good. It's so different from most sandalwood fragrances. Serge Lutens only mentions 3 notes: cacao, rose, and sandalwood, and you get all 3. The cacao's the most, do I want to say ethereal? It's the weakest of the 3, but it underpins the whole fragrance. You have this massive sandalwood and this bitter rose that kind of play off each other, and then they're made to work by this cocoa note. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. It smells austere. It smells like old money. It smells like a room in an old house with old wood furnishings and panels on the wall, but they haven't like they're still in really good condition because they've been looked after and polished. You know what I mean? It's absolutely gorgeous. So that is Santal Majuscule. And on Friday, I went for something completely different. Dior must have heard me slating them, so I decided to wear one of their fragrances, one of their better fragrances of the 21st century. And this is Eau Noir, the old version with the green juice. Beautiful. I prefer it to the newer version, I must admit. The difference is, this again, it's the same principle as the Cologne Concentrate from Chanel. This just feels like there's just more of the fragrance, you know, and I prefer it with the green juice, the dye in it. I just do. I just prefer it. Lavender, licorice, curry. Really strange, but it's so different from everything that they've released in the last 5 or 10 years. It's hard to believe that this is the same house that released stuff like Vanilla Diorama or like Rose Kabuki or Rose Trafalgar or whatever they're called, Rouge Trafalgar. I don't care what Dior does now. They've ruined it. It's going to be very hard, even if they do bring it back round, to ever forget or forgive some of the perfumes they've released recently. They're just boring. And now they smell like MFKs. So that was Friday. Saturday, I decided I quite like Eau Noir. So I'm going to wear another Dior. And this is again one of their better fragrances of the century. And it's a flanker. This is Francois Demarche, one of his best efforts for Dior, actually. This is Fahrenheit Absolute, what Robes Awake called the devil's juice, and I happen to agree with him. This is exactly what the devil would smell like. It smells like fire. It smells like incense. It smells resinous. It smells a little bit sweet. It's absolutely amazing. It's got this kind of balsamic violet kind of quality to it. Prices on this, again, are absolutely stupid. People trying to charge 350 quid for a sealed bottle. That is insane. If you pay that, you're a pervert. I picked one of them up for like less than 100 quid, and then the next one I think I got for about 120, which is about what it's worth, between 120 and 150. It's just a brilliant, brilliant perfume. It's more of a smell than a classic perfume. It's not as intricate as the vintage Fahrenheit, but it's what Demachy does best as a perfumer, in my opinion, which is make flankers. Take someone's idea and change it, make it his own. And last but not least, my friends, I'm going to have to show you the decant because I can't find the bottle. The bottle is somewhere, but I can't find it. I hope I do find it because it's worth a lot of money. And I went for something completely different again because I've been threatening to wear this for quite some time. And this is The Night by Frederic Malle. Most of you watching will know what this smells like, but for the benefit of the people who don't, I will tell you it smells like an ox that has had blue cheese and then got bad diarrhea. I think that's hemorrhaging ox shit. I think that's how Eugene described it, and it's pretty spot on. It's got this kind of rancid oud thing going on. It's got a nice, it's got a lovely rose, which kind of comes across a little bit like raspberry. It's got that sweet kind of Turkish delight rose, you know. Oud, it's ambery. There's a little bit of incense in there. When I bought it, it was an 800 quid bottle, and even then, that was when I got 20% off it. So you're talking like, I don't know what it is now. It'll be like 1,250 quid now, knowing the way perfume prices are going, if it's still around. So this was just something completely different I decided to wear today. It's drying down very, very civilized now. You know, it smells very chic. The hemorrhaging ox arse has settled, and it's much more kind of smooth and clean and like woody, you know. Beautiful perfume. Anyway, this has been my fragrance rotation, friends. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you all again soon.